movieweb.com.
I gotta tell you, this is probably the most intense crime drama I've seen in a long time. Just a great film, really blew me away. Talk about the preparation that you guys had to go through, because you're on the street, you're playing the cop slash bad guy, you're the gangster. Talk about the preparation of being on the street and getting in that mindset and keeping that intensity up.
I think it was really beneficial to us to film in the location that we filmed, to film in, the Van Dyke Projects in Brownsville, and really get sort of the stamp of the street on the film, because it just wouldn't have been the same, shooting Toronto for New York or trying to, Dublin for New York or something crazy like that. Really being there with the people that are fleshing out the frame is extremely helpful.
I mean, you could just draw references from people walking past you on the street, and those references are authentic. I appreciate that. That's how the braids came about. Just watching the guys who live in the world and live in that life and say, okay, what are they doing now? How are they looking? Say, okay, cornrows, Georgia cornrows.
You guys talk about working with Antoine, the director. There's so many scenes that are so tight that really don't spill onto anything more but are so jarring. Was that really the feeling on set, or was that more editing in the end?
Well, obviously, we do our job, and then they hand it over to the editor, and that person makes the movie, really. But there was definitely, from my perspective anyway, a real sort of muscular approach to telling this, which would lend itself to that kind of, those kinds of cuts, that real dramatic sensibility that I think Antoine does very well.
Can you speak about Antoine specifically?
I appreciate that the guy takes it seriously and that he's well schooled and well studied. Antoine, he doesn't just come and just say, just give me a shot. He's interested in the psychology. He's interested in the emotional state. He's interested in the whole picture, the big picture as well. That's rare amongst certain filmmakers and common amongst great filmmakers.
You two share some scenes where you're discussing, like this brotherhood and this betrayal. There's a clique in the organization, but there's this love that exists between, you guys. And this seems to be a common theme, especially in black culture today. There's, who's snitching, who's talking us out.
Right.
What we're doing is more important than being safe in the family. Can you talk about that philosophically in a general sense?
Well, those bigger themes, I think it's interesting that all of the characters were dealing with those questions of facing down their own morality and what is a convenient choice versus what is a hard choice. What is a choice that I can live with? How will I live with the choice that I make if it's not the right choice? And we see, these characters, a lot of them, crash and burn because of the choices that they make. But, it was interesting, some people can say this as a cautionary tale to the community about the wrong choices that you make and the roads you go down and what the wages of sin lead to,
Yeah.
Do you get any, any special tips from any undercover cops? Because this guy was deep undercover for 2 years, really having a hard time. Do they experience that kind of burnout, or is that just more of like a cinematic add-on?
Oh yeah, I think it may be film lore or film cliche even by now, where people think that they've seen how the undercover cop, how that deals with that, but those lines blurring is really germane. When you're dealing with that at that level, then you're hanging out with bad guys and you're doing everything the bad guys do, and you're feeling like you're kind of untouchable in that way. These cops do, the ones that I spoke with anyway, do kind of have the experience of having to kind of shake themselves out of it and go, wait a minute, hold it, wait a minute. I'm doing this job, this is what I'm doing, this is what it's about. Don't get caught up.
And these guys are making $24,000 a year.
There you go.
That's I know cats that do that in a night. I've been out with cats like you dropped.
I can't talk about it. I can't talk about it.
Who picked up the bill?
I can't talk about it.
Okay, I got it. My bad. So that's that's a part of it.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.